Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Apologies for the late video. I've been super busy with one thing and another, so I haven't had much of a chance to get out and about with the SBox, but I decided instead to do a little experiment at home. I want to know which one of these 5 books is the most accurate about the spirit world. They're all books about sort of the afterlife, the spirit world, the paranormal, that kind of thing. And I want to know which one is the most accurate to what's true. And I thought the best people to ask in this case are the spirits themselves. So that's exactly what I did, and the answers blew me away. Before I get into what came through on the spirit box, I want to just do a quick book review of the 5 books that I've got here. And yeah, I have a lot of this type of thing. I do a lot of reading on this subject. There's a variety here. I specifically chose a variety of different books with a variety of different angles on the subject. Some are a bit more out there than others. Some are more science-based, some are more more spiritualism based, and I kind of just wanted to put a few things out there and see what would come through the spirit box in response. So I'm just going to do a very quick book review to give you an idea of the flavour of these books. Proof of Heaven, #1 New York Times bestseller, and yeah, Neurosurgeon's Journey into the Afterlife. So I haven't actually read this one yet. This is on my reading list, but this is about near-death experiences. So when people they maybe have an accident or they're in hospital and they flatline, they're clinically dead, and they all tend to have these very similar experiences of floating out of their body and going into a light and it being very peaceful. And this guy is actually a neurosurgeon, I believe. Yes, neurosurgeon. And so he explains in this what his experience of a near-death experience, how that could be clinically impossible for that to be happening inside his physical brain. So I'll just read you a little bit from the back. It says, "The place I went to was real in a way that makes the life we're living now completely dreamlike by comparison. What happened to me while I was in a coma is hands down the most important story I will ever tell. Eminent neurosurgeon Dr. Eben Alexander always considered himself a man of science. His unwavering belief in evidence-based medicine fueled a career in some of the top institutions in the world, but all this was set to change." And then it talks about how he fell into a coma, he had massive brain damage, but Dr. Alexander's brain went from near total inactivity to awakening. In this astonishing book, Dr. Alexander shares his experience pieced together from notes he made as soon as he was able to write again. Unlike many other accounts of near-death experiences, he is able to explain why his brain was incapable of fabricating his journey into the afterlife. Proof of Heaven, that's book #1. Another one is Between Death and Life by Dolores Cannon. Now, I've read this one and I don't quite know what to make of Dolores Cannon. This I would put in like the out there category. I know some people are like big fans of hers. Some people think, I think, so she gets her information from lots of people that she claims to be able to regress back to before they were born through hypnotism. I don't know enough about hypnotism and all that kind of thing to really have an opinion on this, but she makes some quite wild claims in this book. What occurs at the point of death? Does our personality survive after death? Where do we go afterwards? These are all eternal questions. Dolores Cannon has accumulated information about the death experience and what lies beyond through 45 years of hypnotic research and past life therapy. While reliving past life experiences, hundreds of subjects reported the same memories when experiencing their death, the spirit realm, and their rebirth. So it kind of goes through a lot of people's different sessions that they had with her. Again, these aren't near-death experiences, this is hypnotic regression. So I'm on the fence with this one. I'm really not sure quite what to make of it. Next is probably the most famous text on this subject, which is Raymond Moody's Life After Life, which is over 14 million copies sold. And it was first published in 1975, and it was groundbreaking at the time. It was you know, the original sort of text about near-death experiences. And again, he's a doctor. Yeah, first published in 1975, this classic book about life after death remains a worldwide bestseller. In it, Dr. Raymond Moody introduces the revolutionary concept of the NDE, the near-death experience, a phenomenon based upon his groundbreaking study of patients who were pronounced clinically dead yet survived. So very similar to the one by Ibn Alexander, who funnily enough has done the foreword on this book. So another near-death experience book, but more like a sort of the classic book, if you know what I mean, the one that sort of kicked off all these others. Their extraordinary experiences are strikingly similar and so overwhelmingly positive that they have changed the way many of us view mortality and the spiritual hereafter. Yeah, it's a really positive book, this. I enjoyed it. But again, if this is a subject you've done a lot of research into, you probably won't find anything in here that you don't already know. But again, if you are new to this kind of subject, if you are new to near-death experiences, that kind of thing, this is probably a really good place to start. So the next one, we've got Talking to Spirits by Sterling Moon. And yeah, so this is more on the spiritualism side of things. This is a good book, actually. I enjoy this, and she did touch on spirit boxes and technology and things in it briefly, though it is mostly about, you know, sort of getting in tune with yourself and your own kind of inner abilities to like connect with spirit. Now, I haven't really leaned into that side much. I'll be honest, I do prefer the scientific stuff. I like evidence. I like measurable facts and evidence, but I wanted to include this in there anyway because it was a really good book, and I wanted to sort of see whether spirits do validate this kind of thing, you know, the pendulums, the tarot cards, all that kind of things that a lot of people scoff at, but actually maybe that's one of the best ways to communicate with them. I thought we don't know unless we ask, so I put this one in there, and yeah, it's some interesting stuff in it. Safely communicate with any kind of spirit and enjoy good stories along the way. Through step-by-step guidance and fascinating tales from her decades of experience, Sterling Moon, that's a brilliant name, I love that name, I hope that's her real name. Sterling Moon teaches you how to develop your own spirit communication practice. She shows that everyone can connect with spirits. You too can enrich your life, find peace, and make the world more fun and interesting through mediumship. So it reveals how to identify and interact with many different types of spirits, including ancestors, deities, shadow people, and elementals. Sterling Moon provides journal prompts in every chapter, as well as techniques for managing haunted people, places, and objects. So you'll also explore a variety of communication tools, such as scrying mirrors and ghost boxes. So there we go. It's yeah, it's quite broad. It covers a lot of things. Talking to spirits. And the last one is, I haven't actually read this one yet, but I am really keen to read this one. It's a big old fat tome of a book, and it's A New Science of Heaven. I hope the writing isn't backwards on this, because I'm reading it backwards on there. Maybe it's flipped me the other way around, in which case you won't be able to see these titles. Sorry about that. But yeah, A New Science of Heaven. And this one had me very intrigued. The universe is more than 99% plasma. Observations by astronomers and by scientists in the lab reveal the lifelike behaviour of entities made of plasma. Some of these entities exhibit a complexity and features similar to those in advanced computers, which suggests they may be capable of high levels of intelligence. This is different. So I would kind of put this in the out there category as well, but like the opposite of the Dolores Cannon out there. She's kind of the woo out there. This is like the science out there. Plasma might be conscious. I still don't quite know what that means. I'm going to have to read this book to figure out what this is all about. But 2 gigantic clouds of plasma, which together are 9 times larger than the Earth, have been detected hovering between the Earth and the Moon. Here is the story of scientific research into plasma, the 4th state of matter. Robert Temple reveals extraordinary discoveries that up till now have been unknown by anyone outside specialist circles, despite the fact that many of the pioneers in this field have been Nobel laureates. The implication of these discoveries for our place in the universe, for the likelihood of other forms of intelligence out there, and for understanding of human nature are extraordinary. So, yeah, just to kind of sum these up before I go into the spirit box session, you've got near-death experiences. Okay, just drop that. Plasma might be conscious. Hypnotic regression. another near-death experience, but specific to a certain person, and talking to spirits through a variety of methods, including the traditional kind and the more recent gadgety kind. So those were the 5 books, and I put them out. I asked the spirits, I said, which one of these can you tell me is the most accurate to your experience of being a spirit, to your experience of existing in the spirit world? Which one of these books, as a spirit, do you recommend that the living read to have a better understanding of what's going on? I was blown away by some of the stuff that came through this. This is the full 5-minute spirit box session that I recorded on the SD card. I haven't edited it, I haven't clipped anything out. This is just the full thing, so you can get an idea of everything that came through. Frustratingly, some of the most amazing responses are quite faint, so you do have to whack the volume up. They are there, but again, it's like a whisper. It's like the one-word statements can come through quite clearly, but if they want to say a sentence, it's often very faint. Sorry, the Amazon guy knocked really loudly on my door and just made me absolutely jump a mile. But I was just saying, yeah, if you really want to hear the really incredible stuff, do put the volume up and listen closely to it. Yeah, because that's where these complex sentences are. And but yeah, have a listen to this.
The agent said, you know, It is. Household.
So yeah, what did you make of that? There were some really interesting responses in that, I thought. Yeah, and as well, I should have mentioned I've got the K2 here. If any spirits want to flash that, if I say anything that particularly resonates, do flash that. I have had some interesting spikes on that at home, actually, doing sessions and things. So yeah, I'll try. I always forget to keep an eye on it through the viewfinder though, because I'm looking at the camera, but I will have a look afterwards. Yeah, so one of the first things that came through I thought was interesting on that one, it says something like all of them except one. So that's interesting, and now I'm wondering which one is the... I'm looking at you, Dolores Cannon, I think that's... Or maybe the plasma, I don't know, that does sound kind of strange. But the three that seem to get distinctive mentions, I'll do them in a countdown. Where are we? It was faint, but one clearly said the entire title, something like I like Proof of Heaven, and I thought that was amazing that that came through. So near-death experience, this gets a vote, so there's that. Again, very faint. I'm sure it said Sterling Moon. I am sure it did. Faint, but that is the lady's name. And yeah, when it also said number 3, this was number 3 in the lineup at the time. So I'm going to position this at number 2, maybe the traditional methods of communicating with spirits, traditional mediumship, getting in touch with your own energies, that kind of thing, pendulums, dowsing, all that. That does seem to get a recommend. So there we go. Traditional methods, get the spirits thumbs up. I need to get a pendulum, actually. I've heard they're really good. So I might try some of the more traditional things and see if I have any interesting results with them. But yeah, the clear winner, number 1, with his name mentioned 3 times. It said Raymond 3 times, and I will play these again, actually. In fact, I'll play them now. I'm going to edit all the times it said Raymond together and play this for you, so you can hear this again. So yeah, clear winner, Raymond Moody's Life After Life, which doesn't surprise me, actually. Again, 14 million copies sold, best-selling book. Really, it's not difficult to read. It's a good book. It's I really recommend it. If anyone has lost anyone, and they'll find this a very comforting thing to read. I do recommend it. And I thought, I need a quote from this. I need something to... And I just flicked to a random page and I was like, there we go. That's my quote. I put a little thing in here, and I'm just going to read out this little passage which was on the page that I opened, and this was a man talking about his experience. He collects these experiences from people that had these NDEs. I knew I was dying and that there was nothing I could do about it because no one could hear me. I was out of my body, there's no doubt about it, because I could see my own body there on the operating room table. My soul was out. All this made me feel very bad at first, but then this really bright light came. It did seem that it was a little dim at first, but then it was this huge beam. It was just a tremendous amount of light. Nothing like a big bright flashlight, it was just too much light, and it gave off heat to me. I felt a warm sensation. It was a bright yellowish white, more white. It was tremendously bright, I just can't describe it. It seemed that it covered everything, yet it didn't prevent me from seeing everything around me. The operating room, the doctors and nurses, everything. I could see clearly and it wasn't blinding. At first, when the light came, I wasn't sure what was happening, but then it kind of asked me if I was ready to die. It was like talking to a person, but a person wasn't there. The light was talking to me, but in a voice. Now, I think that the voice was talking to me actually realised that I wasn't ready to die. You know, it was just kind of testing me more than anything else. Yet from the moment the light spoke to me, I felt really good, secure and loved. The love which came from it is just unimaginable, undescribable. It was a fun person to be with, and it had a sense of humour too, definitely. So I find it really comforting that it's all that kind of thing in this book, and it's a really comforting experience, and certainly reading this type of thing, I don't have any fear of death now. I'm not in any, not in any hurry to die at the same time. I have things to do, but at the same time I think wouldn't it be great if none of us had to fear the inevitable, and stuff like this I think can really help people with that, and more people should know about this. So yeah, number 1, Spirits recommended, Life After Life by Raymond Moody. I hope you enjoyed this book review, and yeah, let me know if you've read any of these titles, if you've particularly enjoyed them, if there's any books you would recommend. If you do, let me know in the comments. I always like to have a few on my reading list, so yeah, let me know if there's a particularly good book that you recommend or that you've enjoyed. And yeah, I hope you've liked this vlog, and yeah, do give it a thumbs up and a subscribe if you liked it, and yeah, love and light to you all. Stay curious. Bye.